حزننا أبدا هيخلي همنا يتزاد، بإيدينا بتضحك أيامنا قدامنا وقدام أحلامنا، تتفتح كل الأبواب. الدنيا ما وقفتش على اللي ودعنا وغاب، ولا حزننا أبدا هيخلي همنا يتزاد، بإيدينا بتضحك أيامنا قدامنا وقدام أحلامنا، تتفتح كل الأبواب. وانسى يا قلبي الجرح، يلا بلاش تأخير وحيرة مع الملل، لسه بيوت الفرح فيها الخير وكتير ما فقدوش الأمل، وانا وانت لو استسلمنا هيبقى العمل. وانسى يا قلبي الجرح، يلا بلاش تأخير وحيرة مع الملل، لسه بيوت الفرح فيها الخير وكتير ما فقدوش الأمل، وانا وانت لو استسلمنا هيبقى العمل. مشاعرنا تتألم ما نطيبهاش، ما هو من غلطاتنا بنتعلم ما نكررهاش، هنحاول تاني عشان خاطر أصلا ما يوقعش إلا الشاطر، والتجربة لازم تتعاش. نسيب مشاعرنا تتألم ما نطيبهاش، ما هو من غلطاتنا بنتعلم ما نكررهاش، هنحاول تاني عشان خاطر أصلا ما يوقعش إلا الشاطر، والتجربة لازم تتعاش. وانسى يا قلبي الجرح، لسه بيوت الفرح وانا وانت لو استسلمنا هيبقى العمل. وانسى يا قلبي الجرح، يلا بلاش تأخير وحيرة مع الملل، لسه بيوت الفرح فيها الخير وكتير ما فقدوش الأمل، وانا وانت لو استسلمنا هيبقى العمل. يا ما نفسي أعيش إنسان قلبه على كفه، كل اللي برداني في كفوفه يتدفوا. يا ما نفسي أعيش إنسان قلبه على كفه، كل اللي برداني في كفوفه يتدفوا. يضحك يضحك خلق الله، يفرح يفرح كله معاه. إنسان جواك وجوايا، إنسان له حلم له غاية، إنسان ولا حتى روحه ملك ايديه، اللي معاه على طول مش ليه، ولا حتى روحه ملك ايديه، هو في قلبه ان عليه شايل امل وشوق وحياه. انسان جواك وجوايا، انسان له حلم له بيان، انسان جواك وجوايا، انسان له حلم له بيان، انسان بيحب ولا يكره، انسان شايل.
Assalamualaikum Pak Feril. Waalaikumsalam Pak.
ولا خان ولا عمره هيخون. انسان جواك وجوايا، انسان له حلم له بيان، انسان جواك وجوايا، حلم له بيان، انسان جواك وجوايا، انسان له حلم له all my life, doubting was a part of me. Day and night, fight my insecurities, asking why am I, who am I just want some peace of mind. Salam, yes, salam. يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. السلام السلام تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. Oh God, I need you, I need you.
Can you see me Pak Feril?
Yes.
What? Can you just check?
Did you hear my voice, Pak?
Oh, very clear. Again. How long has Prof. Yavuz been working with Aplication? Pak Feril.
Ya, Pak.
How long has Prof. Yavuz been working with Aplication?
About 1 or 2 years. Yeah, for me, he is a 5-star reviewer.
5-star reviewer.
Yeah, because he always reviews on time, but even in time, yeah, before the deadline.
That's great. And What do you think? I mean, the paper that you send, the draft that you send to him, is approved easily, or there's always a lot of critics? The paper,
Well,
the manuscript that you.
most of them, there are a lot of critics. The critics in the contents, also some in the template.
All right.
I'm cruising on my journey with it all the good and bad. Cause blessings that I don't see, cause I want a lot to love me. I'll thank him for whatever I have. Alhamdulillah, no matter what comes my way. Alhamdulillah, my heart will thank and praise it every time I feel it down or out of place. Alhamdulillah, everything's gonna be okay. This dunya can't deceive me, when nothing ever goes as planned. And when I can't remember, my heart will surely understand. I ask Allah to guide me, I'm starving for His mercy, so I'll thank Him for whatever I have. Alhamdulillah, no matter what comes my way. Alhamdulillah, my heart will thank and praise it every time I feel it down or out of place. Alhamdulillah, everything's gonna be okay. Alhamdulillah, 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 Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, no matter what comes my way. Alhamdulillah, my heart will thank and praise it every time I feel it down or out of place. Alhamdulillah, everything's gonna be okay. Alhamdulillah, no matter what comes my way. Alhamdulillah, my heart will thank and praise it every time I feel it down or out of place. Alhamdulillah,
Assalamualaikum.
everything's gonna be.
Assalamualaikum.
Alhamdulillah, everything.
Fatih. How should I call you? Fatih or Yavuz?
Fatih is my first name, yeah. Yavuz is my surname. In Turkey, we call with the first names.
So you prefer the first name?
Okay, it's good to call me with my first name. Just a second, I'm trying to adjust the background.
Okay. Yeah, your first name is actually similar to my son's name, Fatih.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Yavuz. It's Hartono here.
Yeah, Mr. Fatih is checking the background, fixing the background to make sure that the background is fitted well.
So many bright stars like diamonds in the sky. Oh, it makes me wonder anyone can be blind to all the signs. So clear, just open your eyes, and I know without a doubt you will surely see the light. तेरी दुनिया, तेरी ज़मीन, ये कहकर शायद तू है करीब मेरे मौला, सुन ले दुआ हमने बस है तेरे बिना, रोशन कर जहां। ऐसा जुल्म न किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है खामोशी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है खामोशी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह।
Excuse me, Bu Nani, would you please turn the music? Okay. And so no problem with the voice, yeah, Mr. Fatih. No problem.
Everything is okay.
Okay,
If you hear me clearly.
Okay, I can hear your voice very clearly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah. I didn't think that you would come, and I mean you would accept and receive my invitation.
Why not? Why not? You know, in our culture, the Islamic culture, you know, offers are accepted.
All right. Yeah, I really hope that someday I will come to your country.
Why not? We have kind of a program which, you know, allows the international visitors, but I don't know the details. Let's work on the details to make it possible, because I think it takes 10 hours or something by plane from your country to mine.
Oh yeah, 10 hours. Yeah. And I think about the visa. Yeah, visa. I think for coming to your country is
you won't have any visa problems, because it is something academic.
Yeah. Right. Our Ph.D, our study program also have a plan to have kind of lecture exchange So maybe is it possible for us to have a collaboration in lecture exchange?
Sure. That is the possibility. Why not?
Right.
But I don't know how, let's say, it is possible for your country. Do you have a visa for Turkish people? I don't think you have, because as far as I remember, many let's say countries how have to say removed the let's say visa problem. As
Right.
far as I know.
I mean, in the era of this pandemic, I think at least we can have that lecture exchange using a virtual exchange, virtual lecture exchange.
Yeah, virtual is always possible, but also the traditional visit should be possible because we have to learn to live with this pandemic.
Yeah, is it okay there? I mean, the situation now about the pandemic.
No, not yet. But people are getting vaccinated, and it seems that
Most of them.
a big amount. Yeah, it's nearly more than 60% of the population, and it is getting more by the time. And I hope it will get to 70 or 75% at the end of let's say the year. But we don't know if we will have other variations which the vaccination will not help. We don't know.
About the learning process there in your campus, what kind of platform? I mean,
We have
directly to come to a campus?
This Monday we are beginning the courses, the traditional way.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we have the plan B. If things go worse, we will have the online education as well. But the first plan is to have it, face to face with the students. But the lessons will be shortened to some, exactly like 30 minutes, not more. But we have also plan B. The plan B is that we are using Teams, Microsoft Teams for online teaching, which is a very good platform. And if it doesn't work, if the face-to-face is carrying more risks, so we can, try the other one. So far, it seems that we will be able to continue face-to-face education.
So you have started face-to-face learning process?
Sorry?
You have started, your campus have started to have face-to-face learning process?
Yeah. What about the situation?
Since when?
Well, just this Monday we are starting, and we have prepared everything. This Monday we are starting, What about the situation in your country?
Yeah, some of schools, most of them are, I think, elementary schools. What is it? Something like preschools. Yeah, we have face-to-face, but not full. I mean, in 1 week, they only just come face-to-face with the teacher 3 days in a week and 3 days more in their homes.
Yeah, that is what we are doing. That's what we are doing. It's something similar,
I see. But I think in the what is it, like football matches in the stadiums in Turkey, I think there are some spectators there.
Yes, we have 40% of the stadiums are full.
I see.
So what is the vaccination in your country? What is the vaccination situation? Are people getting vaccinated?
Yeah, vaccinated. Most of us, maybe 50 or 60% of our population got the vaccinated.
We are the same. So So I would like to hear about your university before we begin. What you are doing there? What kind of program are you following? If possible, let me learn.
The problem.
No, what are you doing at your department? What are you teaching? What kind of courses you are giving to your students?
All right. Actually, I am one of the lecturers in this study program or department, English Education Department or study program. I used to teach my students teaching English for young learners. And I think that some of your articles are also about that, isn't it? Teaching English. So I have something like, planning to have a joint research about how to teach or strategy methods or of teaching English to young learners. Is it possible for us?
I couldn't get it because there were some pauses with your sentence. Could you repeat again?
All right. I used to teach my students about teaching English to young learners.
Yes.
Learners, and also grammar, speaking, and some about theory of teaching and learning. But my specification or specialization is TEYL, TEYL. So, and I thought that some of your articles are also talking about TEYL, isn't it?
Sure, yeah, because I had my master students, study those topics.
So yeah, I interested in having a kind of joint research with you, at least about this kind of topic.
Why not? Why not? I'm open to any collaborations.
I see.
But yeah, for next year, yeah, well, we can have more, let's say research. But this year, I was just trying to, let's say, keep myself away from the virus. Just, I suppose, or I try to be, let's say, keep protect myself from the virus. So
have you got?
No,
have
but
you got infected?
No, but nearly everybody in my family got infected.
I see.
Yeah. And it was the situation in many parts of the, let's say, the world, and also the other academicians, were just, trying to protect themselves. So this year was not so much productive, but I hope next year we will have more chances.
I see. I hope so.
This year I'm just writing a book about e-learning.
E-learning.
Yeah. At the end of this year, I hope it will be published. Yeah. We are writing chapters. My chapter is e-learning.
Nice.
And we are trying to finish some projects with the university. Our university is funding us with the local projects, also international ones, but the international ones are, taking much time and let's say taking, let's say hard procedure. We just, I'm just local this year.
Yeah, local, but thinking
except
globally.
This one, except this conference with your invitation. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Education is important, but also health is also important, right? Yeah, health.
Sure.
Yeah,
if you're not healthy, there's no education.
Yeah. You're not productive enough. Okay, so yeah, the moderator will be Pak Hartono. We call Pak is Mr. Pak Hartono as the moderator for our lecture program today.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Yeah.
Yavuz.
Yes, please.
Salam.
Welcome to Unisula.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to
Nice
see
to
you
be
too.
with
That's
you.
great. I've been listening to your conversation with my brother Khairil, and it's very interesting. Right.
Thank you.
Okay. So what time is it now? It's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. It is 9 o'clock. It's the breakfast time in the morning.
That's
Have you
1
got
o'clock in the afternoon. We just got the prayer of Duhur.
I could suppose it, because when we were talking about the time, you know.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I will be
6
a
hours.
moderator. As my brother Khairil mentioned, that I will be a moderator for this presentation. Hopefully that I can accompany your presentations.
So, am I allowed to share my screen?
We need to wait for the committee, because there are some arrangements of the opening sessions, and there will be welcome.
Okay.
Mr. Fatih, before you present your material, there will be some little bit opening ceremony.
Sure.
What is it? It is like something reciting Al-Quran and then singing national anthem of Indonesia Raya. And the last one is welcoming speech from our dean. And afterwards, your time for having presentation.
Okay.
It's kind
okay
of the standard procedures from the university, Prof. So I'm so sorry.
That's
Right.
very nice.
Okay.
That's wonderful for me, you know.
So you know
a
that
program is beginning with reciting Quran, you know. That is perfect.
So my university is the Islamic University, and we try to, you know, implement the Islamic values in all of the lives of the university, from educations, from research, and also the public services. So, and we implement this one. So even when we have the face-to-face learning at campus before the pandemic, we always break during the prayer time. We have a break and ask the students to go to the mosque to pray together. That's the culture, we call it, because our mission is stated as Bismillah membangun generasi khairul ummah, meaning that we talk about khairul ummah. We are talking about the khairul ummah. This is the mission of our university, my university. So. Okay, I think this.
In Turkey, it is impossible.
I know.
to do whatever you are doing. Okay.
I know, because the secular country, right? But I believe that but people are devoted Muslim, many of them, right?
Sure, but perhaps I'm the only one who prays among the ELT professors. Perhaps I am the only one. Yeah.
All right. Excuse me, Pak Artono and Mr. and Prof. Fatih Yavuz, because the time has already been at 1 p.m. So can we start now?
Sure.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Wa syukurillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa mawalah amma ba'd. Honorable Assistant Professor Fatih Yavuz, Ph.D., Mr. Hartono, SS MPD, and then all the Pak Kurniawan Dwi Zulianto, Dwi Nugroho, SPD MPD, as our Dean of the faculty, all the staffs of English Education Study Program of Unisula, all my students from English Education Study Program, some of participants from outside of our university. I see here Bu Wuli Fitriati, Ph.D. Sri Wuli Fitriati. Please welcome Bu Wuli. And then also some of other participants that I cannot mention one by one. Thank you very much for coming, for joining this kind of program. Alhamdulillah, all praise be always to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and peace be upon the messenger Nabiullah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, today we are going to have a kind of a general lecture by Assistant Professor Fatih Yavuz Ph.D. from Balikesir University. Am I right, Mr. Fatih, to pronounce the university name?
Yes,
All right.
exactly. Balikesir University, yeah.
Yeah, Balikesir University. And with the title, we are going to have the topic now, the integration of technology into ELT, the planning, methodology, and its application. Yeah, before we start having the program, the agenda, I would like to read some agendas today. The first one is opening, second, reciting Al-Quran, number 3, singing national anthem of Indonesia Raya, number 4, welcoming speech from the Dean, number 5, general lecture, 6, followed by the 6th one is Q&A, question and answer session, and the last one, closing. All right, honorable participants and the speakers. Now it's time for have the first agenda. It is opening. So now please open the agenda today by reciting Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
All right, we come to the next agenda. That is reciting Al-Quran by Said Hidayatullah MPD. Said Hidayatullah, time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Aril. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله ولو آمن أهل الكتاب لكان خيرا لهم ولو آمن أهل الكتاب لكان خيرا لهم منهم المؤمنون وأكثرهم الفاسقون لن يضروكم إلا أذى وإن يقاتلوكم يولوكم الأدبار ثم لا ينصرون ثم لا ينصرون صدق الله العظيم. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much. Sadaqallahul azim wa sadaqa rasulul karim. Thank you, Muhammad Said Hidayatullah, SPD Asum MPD. He is actually our ex-student. I mean, yeah, alhamdulillah, that he has recited Al-Quran for us. Hopefully that we are going to have the agenda well today. And barakah. Amin, amin, ya rabbal alamin. The next agenda will be singing national anthem of Indonesia Raya. Please, Bu Nani.
Indonesia kebangsaan bangsa dan tanah airku, marilah kita bersatu, Indonesia bangsaku. Hiduplah tanahku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku dan bangsaku. Bangunlah jiwa untuk Indonesia Raya.
The next agenda will be welcoming speech from the Dean of Language and Communication Science Faculty by Bapak Kurniawan Yudi Nugroho, SPD MPD. Bapak Kurniawan, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let me check, is my voice audible?
Yes, very audible and clear.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikum.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. All praises are to Allah, the merciful, by whose grace and blessing have enabled us together here in the visiting professor program held by English Education Study Program, Faculty of Language and Communication Science, Universitas Islam Sultan Agung, Indonesia. And secondly, may salawat and salam always be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Praise always be upon him. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It actually gives me an immense pleasure to start this auspicious occasion by heartily welcoming everybody. I heartily welcome our guest speaker, Professor Dr. Fatih Yavuz from Balikesir University of Turkey. Welcome, Prof. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah. secretary of the Faculty of Language and Communication Science, then head of English Education Study Program, lecturers of English Education Study Program, my fellow students, participants, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very actually positive that today's program have broadened, perspectives, especially about the integration of technology into ELT, our field, which might be comprising planning, methodology, and its application in the classroom. We still need to learn about that more. But to us, at this time, most importantly, we can extend our new network. We have the chance to build a relationship with Balikesir University of Turkey, and we really hope that in the near future we can further collaborate in any possible mutual programs, including research, and of course, with the help of Professor Dr. Fatih, inshallah. Well, actually, I'm not going to talk more because otherwise I'm going to consume the time of Professor Dr. Fatih. Well, to end, I'd like to offer again my congratulations and highest appreciation to the organizing committee who have been working to prepare this program, and especially to Professor Dr. Fatih for being available to be the speaker of today's event. Last but not least, welcome to the Visiting Professor Program, Planning, Methodology, and its application in the classroom. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Pak Kurniawan Yudinugro, SPD MPD, for being welcoming speech to our speaker and also some participants. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the lecture program. General lecture by Assistant Professor Fatih Yavuz, Ph.D. He is going to present his material about the integration of technology in ELT. It is about planning, methodology, and its application. And it will be guided by Pak Hartono, SSMPD. Pak Hartono, SSMPD, is the lecturer of English Education Study Program of Sultan. Time is yours, Pak Hartono.
All right, thank you very much, Pak Khairil, my brother Khairil. All right, let me start. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah bi arsala rasuluhu bihuda wa dinil haq liduru ala dini kulli wal karal kafirun asyhadu alla ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Rabbi shrah sadri wa yassir amri wa uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'd. First of all, I have to say thank you very much for the Master ceremony for giving me an opportunity to be here with everyone here, for becoming the moderators of this today visiting professor to these general lectures from Dr. Fatih Yavuz from Balikesir University. But allow me to greet Bapak Dekan, the Dean, and also welcome Prof. Fatih for being able to share the time with us here for the first time. And also I'd like to greet my lecturer from UNES, Bu Sri Wuli. Welcome, Bu. Thank you very much. Aku jadi grogi nih, Bu.
Selamat datang, Ibu. Mohon maaf tadi nggak tahu. Oke, selamat datang.
Welcome. I do appreciate for your participation, Bu. This presentation is going to be more meaningful, very meaningful for me, and you are there.
Thank you for allowing me to join this session.
All right, and also especially the students of English departments of the of Unisula, and also important things I like to mention, some alumni here. I saw Mas Andra Fahrian, okay, and also Mas Said and others. All right, as the moderator, allow me to introduce our professor today. As my brother Khairil has mentioned, that today we are going to have the presentations from Assistant Professor Dr. Fatih Yavuz, but allow me to read the brief CV of him. So Dr. Yavuz has been an ELT teacher trainer since 1996, so almost 25 years. So 25 years. He's been very experienced in this field, and he has worked at different universities in Turkey. And his interests and studies are about teacher training, ELT methodology, computer and mobile assisted language learning, and approaches in ELT, listening, and so on. A lot of things. So he is very experienced in ELT. If I check the Google Scholar, I can find that he is a very productive, very productive researcher, because there are around 58 publications, and he is very well referenced, because there are 476 citations of this. So I think we are very happy today that we can we can meet Professor Yavuz face-to-face now in the virtually, so that we can share, we can hear the experience. Hopefully the Prof. Yavuz also can, share the practice strategies, for example, in dealing with ELT. Okay, so I think we need to start soon, but then allow me to just say that actually we will have around 45 minutes for presentation, Prof. So, but that's actually up to you. But we scheduled to have 45 minutes for presentations, and then we will have discussions. And for that purpose, please, everyone, the participants, turn off your microphone. But if you want to interrupt or you want to say something or make questions, then you can start. You can raise hands, and I will collect the names, and then I will. When the situation is okay, then I will talk to. I will let you speak to Prof. Yavuz. Right? Okay, we will start now. Is it? Are you ready, Prof? Is it okay to start right now?
Sure. Sure.
All right. So now is 21 after 1, and we will have the presentation around 45 minutes, and then we have the discussions. And I like to give the what do you think if we give applause to Prof. Yavuz first? Is it okay? Now, would you please?
Thank you.
So that we are happy to have you, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now the time is yours, Prof.
Thank you. Can I have the screen share allowance, please?
Me?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to share my screen. Can you allow me to share my screen?
Okay, please, Bu Nani, as the host. Okay, now you are the co-host.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Selamun Aleyküm and Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is really amazing for me. First, I want to express my feelings. This is very amazing for me because this is first in my whole lifetime. I am in a university that people are reciting Quran and sending their, let's say, good wishes to the Creator, Allah, and His Messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is really amazing for me. I feel I'm like in a dream, I couldn't believe that could be possible in the very secular world, in the secular Europe. This doesn't seem to be, to happen. This is what I feel now, and I'm very happy to be among you. Thank you, dear Dean, dear colleagues, and Holy Lambert, inviting me, and Hartono, inviting me for your program. Today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about the methodology and the application as far as I can do. First, we should keep in mind, whatever we are doing, we are English teachers. We should plan, we should decide the learning outcomes of what we are doing. A good teacher usually asks the question, what are my students going to learn at the end of this course? What is going to happen? What are they going to gain? This is the very basic question to be asked by a teacher. Why am I here? What is the good of my being, my existence in this classroom? If there is no answer, what your students will have, what will remain after the course, it means you are wasting time, your time and your students' time. So keeping this in mind, I usually, use the metaphor, teaching something is offering a kind of meal to your students. Okay, let's offer the meal by my metaphor. Let's continue. Okay, yeah, a good lesson is like a good meal. People should be, by the way, my, let's say, pictures are from the Ottoman kitchen. To introduce you some Ottoman kitchen, okay, Turkish cuisine. Okay, so when you are trying to teach something, in fact, you are in a way somehow preparing the food for your learners. It should be attractive. It should take their interest. Okay, so we should make our students feel they are hungry. They really want to learn. What are the key terms in learning? The first one is motivation. If your learners are not motivated, it doesn't matter whatever you do, how you teach. If they don't want it, this is the most important issue in teaching. But in my context as language teaching, your students should be motivated and the topic should be relevant. Why would I learn something that I will never need in my life? So we should create a relevant context, and also it should be interesting. In my country, for young people, if you talk about football, it's interesting. If you talk about fashion, it's interesting. If you talk about technology, it's interesting and motivating. But if you talk about global warming, nobody likes it because it's all the same words for them. Of course, for advanced and more academic people, global warming can be a better topic to be, let's say, studied. So, before we create our course, we have to consider. Now I'm trying to make a lesson plan, okay? We have to consider who we are going to teach, who are our learners. As Khorel, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, as Khorel mentioned before, he's studying the young learners, he's studying how to teach young learners. So if you are studying to teach young learners or the adults, okay, or the, let's say, teenagers, so your content should be different. So we have to keep in mind who we are teaching and what we are going to teach. Today, I'm going to teach something. It may be, for instance, vocabulary, structure, function. As you all agree, I'm sorry to repeat the things that you have already known or used, okay? Because I don't know exactly what you are really doing there. Okay, but sorry if I'm repeating the things that you have already known. Okay, but we have to have our objectives, what we are going to teach. A good teacher knows that if we are teaching vocabulary, we're not teaching a new structure. After we have taught the structure, we are loading new words or the vocabulary. And what about the function? What kind of function of that, let's say, structure we're going to teach? Yeah, and a good teacher plans how she is going to start the lesson, how to warm up the students. In a way, the students are not very ready for our lessons. They come outside, they come from home and they have, daily routines, and it is not that easy to break the resistance, because in a way they have the resistance. They may be good students, but they may have resistance against English. We are all learning the grammar, tenses. The teacher is going to repeat the same thing again, over and again, over and over, and then I will not get the point. So it's all boring. They may have those ideas. So we have to break the resistance. If we can't break the resistance, the teaching will not be possible. Because if your students do not have the self-confidence, if they are not motivated, if they are not interested in your courses, you do not have any chances. So we have to break the resistance. How can we break the resistance? By giving them the feeling that they can do it. And what is the most important thing for me is the fun and smile. If you don't know to give them a bunch of smile, a bunch of fun, your students will feel that what you are doing is very monotonous and very boring, because nobody likes to be sitting at the chair for hours and to wait for the teacher to repeat the grammar rules. It is something disgusting. We need some fun. Why don't you add some jokes? Why don't you add some fun activities? They may be kinesthetic, or they may be other kind of activities that will motivate your learners. Yes. So what are we going to put into the meal? I don't know what you're doing there, but this is what we are. This is our recipe, Yeah. So in a way, we have to decide how and in which order we're going to teach our students. Okay. And so to do it, what kind of material we might need? Yeah. Is it the traditional deductive teaching, or the inductive teaching, or a communicative one, or a blended teaching? Better to have, I'm not an extremist. I'm not refusing the traditional teaching. I'm not totally accepting the communicative one, because I know there should be the balance. The balance is to get the benefits of both methods, Yeah, so we need some tradition, we need some communication, and also what about the blended learning? What about the technology? We need the technology. And also we should decide how long we are going to teach that course, and are we going to give small, let's say, intervals to refreshing time to our students? I'm sure you all agree with me that your students will be happy if you refresh them, because we know, especially from the young learners, that their span is not that long to concentrate on the things. And this is a fact that, the long things will be boring and monotonous and will be hard to remember, to recall. So it's better to refresh the students. How can you refresh it? If you are doing the reading, you can have a kinesthetic activity, then your students are refreshed. You can sing a song in the classroom, then it's a kind of refreshment, Or you can have a drama in your classroom, it will change the mood of your learners. Okay.
Aku marahin sama.
Kia, Zakia, excuse me, Zakiatul, excuse me.
Shall I continue? Okay. For an English lesson, we need, yes, the structure. Yes, we need grammar. Yes, everybody accepts that we need grammar, but it matters how we are going to present the grammar. Personally, I'm on the side that it should be given inductively, without mentioning the rules, creating the right context, and giving the necessary communicative let's say exercises, it is easy to teach them inductively. You know, the gain is that they will never forget. Okay, can you hear me? Right? Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
my advice is to teach English inductively, to make it communicative, to make it long-term. Let's say the recall is easy with the inductive teaching, but deductive teaching may be needed for some learners, for some cognitive learners who want the direct rule immediately. But for long-term learning, for let's say for the term acquiring a language, we need the inductive teaching. And also, when you teach the grammar, it doesn't matter if it is inductively or deductively, you also have to teach the functional language. How I am going to use the grammar, the structure that you have taught me. The language has function. What is the function? Students should be working on the functions on language with the help of the teacher. For instance, here in my example is giving opinions, agreeing, asking, disagreeing, or let's say refusing, whatever it is, vice versa, okay? And the interaction. If whatever you teach is not attached, is not cooperative with an interaction, it is easily forgotten. So to personalize whatever they have learned, we need some interaction. It is the interactive let's say aspect of the language. Students should be talking, should be using whatever you have taught to them interactively. I mean, they should have the feeling that the language they have learned can be used, is really used for expression of the real meaning. Okay, so now we should add some technology, whatever we're going to add. There are many applications, many, let's say, programs for language teaching. But again, without knowing the methodology, the material is a waste of time. We should, as teachers, decide where we are going to use the technology, how it will help us. In Turkey, we have the traditional teachers who do not have any technological abilities, and it's a real waste of time for them. For instance, they take YouTube video and they just put the start the video and end the video. Then they think they claim to be using the technology in their courses. What is the good of it? Why are you making your students, watch that video? What is the reason? What is your purpose? What is your plan? We should decide what we are going to do. For instance, if your students are watching a video, you should prepare true false questions, a closed test, a multiple choice questions that will keep your students follow what is happening in the video. Otherwise, a little time later, your students may get lost in the video, okay? So we should decide how you will use the technology and how it will, let's say, match your objectives of your course, and in which, let's say, part of your course you're going to use that technology. Will it be at the engage part, at the study part, or activation part? These are the questions that should be kept in mind. Yeah, I have some small applications for you to introduce you. The first is Padlet, but I'm going to use it at the end with you, with your participations. Okay, Padlet is a kind of virtual board that we're going to use it together. Don't forget it. I will ask you to contribute me while using the Padlet. Okay, the second is Socrative. I'm just trying to give some examples. Of course, there are many applications, but I have chosen three to let's say, talk about. Socrative is a good formative assessment tool because we teachers need to ask ourselves how our lesson is going, if whatever we are doing is going well or not, if our students are learning or not. So as teachers, we have to check it sometime, pause and check it, and see if things are going wrong. We can, let's say, restart, try another way. We should have plan B to go with it. Yeah, okay. Socrative is a formative assessment tool which allows the teacher to check understanding all students during a lesson rather than just those who dominate or put up their hands. You know, in all classrooms, there are some dominating students. Their hands are always up, but their domination doesn't show that everybody has understood, everybody has, reached your objectives. Okay, so we can use Socrative to see if things are okay with everybody in the classroom. Okay, it has 4 parts: the quiz part, the where you give the quiz multiple choice, true, false, and the others, and space race and quick questions. You can analyze later because I'm trying to respect the time allowed for me. And it has the exit ticket. Okay, for instance, during the traditional teaching, the teacher, can ask the students, how well did you understand today's material? It's very important to get the feedback from the learners. What did you learn in today's class? Or tell me 3 new words you have learned today. What did you find difficult about today's lesson? These are the questions. But I'm going to, these are traditional ones, but I'm going with a specific example of mine. Imagine that you have just taught students some vocabulary that they can use for a job application. You wonder if they are ready to move on the practice stage of the lesson. I will mention a bit later. We have 3 main stages of a course. We try to teach something, practice something, and we try to make our students use whatever we have taught them. Okay, so let's see if our students, for instance, in this part, are ready to practice it. So we can use the quick question, we can use the, let's say, short answer or true, false, or multiple choice to see if our students could grab whatever we wanted them to get. Okay, and we can see the results. To see, if things are going well or not. And after practice, at the end of the lesson, we can again use the Socrative to see if they could, get whatever we wanted. Okay, and you can use the data to show their parents or to have statistics about their success. Okay, now in the next lesson, the teacher again can give a quiz to the students to see how much they remember about the job application vocabulary. Okay, and because our objective is that at the end of our course, our students should be able to fill an application form or join the, let's say, application interview. Okay, and you can use Socrative to see it. I have a interactive study with you. Could everybody, okay, join my Socrative class?
Yes.
Just type, is it possible to do for everyone? Just type socrative.com and choose student login. And the classroom code it will be asked is Yavuz, okay, F Yavuz, my first name and surname. And you will have questions there. If you are ready, I'm going to share the screen with you. Just a second. Okay. I'm waiting your answers. Let me also use it.
Excuse me, Prof. Could you show us again?
Socrates.
Oh, all right, that
Okay.
was the code. Yeah.
Socrates. Yes, Socrates students. You can just write on the Google. And it will be asking you room name right there, my Yavuz, okay. And when you join, you will be directed to write your name. I'm joining, writing my name. Okay, here, yeah, I see, yeah, okay. 5 of you, okay, answering the questions. Okay, can I have more participants, please? Suppose that I am teaching methodology. Okay, I am teaching. Now my voice is not clear. There's a message. Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Thank you. Perhaps we had some pauses. Suppose that I have taught you about methodology, and now this is the quiz I have prepared. Okay, and we have the participants here. Thank you, Mega. You have completed. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names, because this is the first time I have met people from your country, and I'm not sure how I should be answering your pronouncing your names.
Mecca is all right. Mecca, so it's all right. So Mecca.
Mecca.
The Mecca. Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. Sukma is okay. Fatih is waiting because it's me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I wish we had more participants, but unfortunately, some of our friends could join. This is not a real, questionnaire. Don't worry. It is all, yes, as people are answering. The questions are all true about teacher training. Okay, thank you for this contribution. You can use this Socrates report. Okay, you can just show the results. You can, if you want, you can let's say hide the names or show the names, and this is a good application to see how things are going in your course. And this is motivating because students would like to see if they are doing well or not. If you have the doubt that your students will get shy if their names are seen, then you can just hide their names. Okay, and you can even show responses or not. It just depends on you. And of course, you can begin from simple to more advanced exercises while using the Socrates. Okay, I'm finishing because, okay, we are not having more participants. Thank you. Okay, this is, and we can have the reports and export the report. That's all for Socrates. Thank you. And just a second, am I still sharing my presentation? Or I should reshare?
Not now.
Okay, I should reshare. I could see. Okay. Yes. From the current slide. Yes. Okay. And the second is hot potatoes. I don't know if you have, ever used or you're planning or you have heard about this one. It is, I'm going to share this presentation with you so you can download it at any time. It is the, hot potatoes. You can prepare activities using the hot potatoes. I'm going to share how I prepared with it. For instance, suppose that I have prepared in my listening lesson. My PhD is on listening strategies of learners, the cognitive, metacognitive, and the others. Think that you have prepared a listening activity for your learners to integrate the technology. Okay, thank you. I'm reading the let's say chat box. Okay, so think that we have prepared a listening text. I have taken from Randall's ESL lab. It's a very fruitful and very contributive one, and then I'm going to use hot potatoes to activate our students listening, let's say, activity. Okay, for instance, I have chosen a text about smartphones. I think it's, let's say, more motivating. They will be perhaps comparing the iOS and Android systems, iPhone and Samsung or the other ones. Okay, now see what I have done. I'm going to share it. Let's say this is a crossword. When they click, I want to share the real one because this is just a picture. I want to click the real, show the real one. Just a second. Okay. Because the real one will make more sense. It's here. Just a second. Let me share that. New share. What is that? Yeah. Okay. Just look at here. Okay. You create an activity that your students, are using it on the web. For instance, when you click here, young men, wait, why are you? Okay, while they are listening, they will hear these words and they have to fill in those words while listening, okay? And then they will check if they are correct or not, okay? And the other one is, let me show it. The other one is, for instance, the first one was closed. Was it closed? Yeah, it was the closed test. Just a second. The second is, for instance, quiz listening. Just a second, quiz listening. Yeah. Think that your students are listening and answering the multiple choice questions. For instance, let's say this one, and it says correct 100, and it gives what immediate response and feedback. Okay, these are the two things I try to share with you. Okay, just a second. Let me share my content with you. Yeah, yes, okay. So from current slide, yes, okay. And the last thing, we should decide the procedure. Procedure is very important. How you are presenting the meal. In Turkey, we have the soup first, main course, and then we have the sweets. I don't know if it is the same in your tradition or not, in your eating, let's say, tradition or not. Okay, what we are going to do first, second, third, it's say engage. We are going to get our students, engaged, motivated, interested in our course, and we're going to study with them. We're going to practice the language with them or whatever we are teaching. For instance, if it is a job application, we're going to practice with them. Maybe we're going to read the text. We're going to watch the video about the job application. And then we will have practices. They will prepare something like they have studied, and then we will ask them to role play. One is the interviewee, the other one is the interviewer, and then they will use the language, they will use the vocabulary they have studied together. Okay, and it is important, sorry for my exaggeration, it's important to ask students whatever they have learned after we have all tried to give them, This is very important. This is what we call literally feedback. Feedback is important because feedback gives the teacher the chance what to do, what not to do. And we need homework because homework is the bridge between home and school. So we have to create strong bridges so that the students will, with their parents, if possible, still study whatever we have taught them. For instance, let me give you some example. For instance, you can prepare a Socrative activity and you can text their parents. Today at 9 p.m., I will be starting an activity at Socrative. I want your student, your child, to do it in 20 minutes under your supervision. If you text, in Turkey, we have the chance to text every parent about the situation, and it will be very fruitful. It will be very contributive because, in a way, we are guaranteeing the study of the students with their parents. They are both studying, Okay. And believe me, it doesn't matter whatever you are doing. It matters what remains in their mind at the end of the day. This is very important. So education is, I guess, it's a famous quotation. Education is what is left after we graduate from the school. And our education is what is left after our lesson, is finished. When we finish our lesson, what is left to our students? If it's a piece of song, if it's a piece of vocabulary, if it's a piece of, structure. Okay. Yes. Okay. Just a second. I'm going to open my Padlet, but just a second. Let me share this one for you because I will take the questions for the Padlet. On the chat part, message to everyone. You can see my Padlet. Just a second. Let me open my Padlet. 1 second. Just a second. Let me start my Padlet so that let's see your answers there. Okay. Yeah. This is the link to join my Padlet. If possible, I want you to contribute by just let me share my screen. Okay, on the chat part, I have shared the Padlet link. Okay, this is my Padlet. You see my screen is empty. This is the board. Whatever you write will be shared here. Okay, just click on the plus at the right end. Okay, I use, for instance, what all programs. Do you see my screen now?
Yes.
If you write anything, it will be seen on the board, and this will be shared by everybody, and even they can poke with putting on hearts. Okay, as a teacher, if you want, you can, give points, or they can, I'm sorry, this is Turkish. I could change it into English, but this is Padlet, So if you just write Padlet, you can reach it, Okay. Any contributions? You can even ask questions. Write your questions on this platform if you want me to answer any questions of yours, because this is the end of my presentation. Yeah. I'm expecting more participation, please. Now 2 people are writing. It says 2 people are writing. Yes, 2 more people are writing. Yeah. When you finish your, let's say, sentences, do not forget to click on publish. If you want, you can add a picture. If you want, you can add a link. Okay. If you want, you can, put your video. And this is very, let's say, I like Kahoot. I use all Kahoot. Thank you. Okay. Hi there. Thank you. Hi. I use Padlet, especially when I am brainstorming on something. For instance, I ask, what is the role of a teacher in a classroom? What is an ideal teacher? Everybody writes, their answers, and we see all answers in one board, and then we can talk about the answers. I then classify the answers. I try to put them on a logical, let's say, base, and then we try to let's say, put the standards for an ideal teacher. How can we use the applications in ELT classes, or what kind of applications you are using? Yes, you use Kahoot. Yeah, Kahoot is a very entertaining activity, but as I mentioned before, there should be the, let's say, methodology. Why we are using Kahoot? Just to make the learners happy? It's a waste of time if you're just, trying to, keep them busy, or to seem that you are using the technology. It is not your real objective. But you may say me, you may think that, you may claim that, no, my students need to have some fun. I accept it, but you should decide it before. Okay, Kahoot is a very nice activity. I also use in my classrooms, and they like it a lot. Okay, more contributions we have. Sure, we can use them as tools for learning. Thank you. You use Padlet as well. Why not? Why not? For instance, think that as a classroom, as a whole complete classroom, you are doing a writing activity. It's a chain drill. You write the beginning of the story. It was a cold winter day. The man was alone in the street, and you want your students to contribute. Everybody is adding one sentence, and then the whole becomes the story. Thank you. Okay. We have more answers. Shall we wait for the answers? Yeah, why not? Why not? That's great, using Kahoot. Okay. And today, I have tried to be more, let's say, pedagogical rather than the research, because research is, if you just give the statistic, give the numbers, is boring for teacher training. Well, of course, it should be, let's say, dealt with, but when we are, let's say, studying individually, research is okay, but when we are all together, there is, thank you. There is no need to talk about the research. That is my belief. Thank you for your participations. You see, we see all of your contributions on one board, and it is very fruitful for our students and teachers. And if you want, you can have, more modifications. You can, let's say, ask for names. You can, just ask your students to give points, to give their, let's say, likes and dislikes, etc. Okay. Thank you for the participation. Let me just close it. Okay. And this is the end of my presentation. And thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience. I hope I didn't make you feel bored. Okay, that's all for today. I hope I respected the time.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Now, 45 minutes is short. Thank you very much. All right, everyone. Now we are coming to the second question and answer sessions, but let me remind you that actually Prof. Yavuz has started the presentation by giving us a metaphor, okay, a metaphor that teaching is like serving meal to students. All right, that's a very good metaphor, okay? Then how we need to make students hungry, okay? And then, but in the end, still we need to think that what is the purpose? So then finally we need to see, there are a lot of things that you have to do after that, but then in the end, then you need to check about how, okay, what did they learn and how did they feel about their lesson itself. So finally, it is a teaching is a long process that must be prepared. Even when you use technology, remember that you need to prepare and you need to have a clear purpose so that you will not only waste your time and waste the students' time because only, let's say that because you just want to show that this is good technology, but without clear purpose, using technology will is possibly only waste the time. Right, now we go to the question and answer. Everyone, you may raise your hand or just turn on your microphone and say what you want to say, comments and questions, please. Come on, okay. Bapak Ibu Guru, Bapak Ibu Dosen. Let me also tell you that actually Prof. Yavuz has been the reviewer of our journal, EduLite journal, and has been working with us in the journal under Pak Khairil editor for around 2 years. So thank you very much, Prof, for joining the as the reviewer of editor of EduLite. I mean, come on, everyone. Bu Eka, Bu Nani.
May I, Pak?
Okay, so Pak Khairil, time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Har, for the chance for me to ask question to Mr. Fatih Yavuz. I would like to say that actually I have some articles or some research, especially I used Padlet in my class. And sometimes the problem is that again, if we are talking about technology, the problem is the technology is as well. I mean, from the Wi-Fi connection, and sometimes it's something to do with the students' understanding of technology. My question is that how will you resolve this problem? Resolve that problem, engage, I mean, related to the technology.
Yeah, the shortcomings of technology?
Yeah.
Of course, we know that, technology is not just, at the very ease, is at the very access of everyone. There are inequalities in the society that each student cannot, reach the, let's say, technology. It's not that, but in my country, we have a project with my name, Fatih project, but I didn't start the project, just a, coincidence, that every school, every classroom has a, smart, let's say, board installed into the classroom so that each student can see the board, can reach the technology. And years ago, our government tried to, deliver tablets to the students, each student, but it didn't work because, tablets were used for playing games, and they had, breakdowns and many problems. But the let's say the smart boards, smart boards, interactive boards are still very popular in my country. And this is the, educational policy of the government. Delivering each classroom, smart board or interactive board. But of course, I agree with you that it is not easy to, especially during the pandemic, it was not easy to, let's say, give the opportunity to all learners to use the internet, to reach it, or some people are not, let's say, literate for technology. Even some families, of course, these are the drawbacks. That's why, Khoril, I try to mention that learning or teaching should be blended. The traditional teaching should never be neglected because it is a factor and it saves life, And I believe that I have been, I have been teaching approximately for 25 years. And what I have learned from my experience is that teacher is the most important, factor, yes, variable in, in the learning, in the teaching, in the classroom, in education. Whatever there is, the best methodology book doesn't work if there is not a good teacher. Technology has nothing if there is not an able teacher using it. Unfortunately, we have some drawbacks with the technology, and personally, I'm against using too much technology in the classrooms, ignoring the traditional learning. Students should be touching their notebooks. For instance, in my department, we are training English teachers. I always ask my students to bring their dictionaries into the classroom. Dictionaries should be touched. They should be mingled. They should be looked at. But they use the electronic ones, which do not have any taste. They don't bring the real life, Dictionaries should be, used, should be, let's say, all shared, should be all, very dirty because you are all trying to find something, Unfortunately, technology has some disadvantages that are threatening us. Thank you.
Thank you. Would like to a bit respond to your answer. That I agree with you that okay, we are now in sophisticated technology era, but we have to also think about that actually traditional platforms are still needed, still need, even though where is now it is very sophisticated era. So many technologies, platforms we can use. So face-to-face, we are now realizing that students, even elementary school students, they really need face-to-face interaction directly between students and teachers. Thank you for the answer.
Sorry to interrupt, but I know in many European countries, the schools are leaving the technology and they are reuniting with the traditional teaching. They are taking the students outside and they are counting the leaves from the tree if they are going to teach mathematics. They are not using the, let's say, electronic devices. Taking the children outside, playing in the, with the trees and learning counting with the leaves.
All right, that's good. Okay, now let me invite another comment or question from participants, please. We still have around 15 minutes.
Sir?
Sure, yes.
Amelia, raise
Amelia,
hand.
would you please?
Hello, can you hear my voice, sir?
Sure, yes.
Okay, I'm Dinda Amelia, and I have a question for you, sir. How to make your student interested with your online class? Or maybe you have a tips or trick for me? Thank you.
Could you repeat your questions? How would I?
How to make your student interested with your online class?
With online classes.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Your name is Dinta. Do I pronounce correctly?
Dinta Amelia,
Dinta.
right.
Dinta,
Yes.
yeah. This
Right.
is the main problem. Today's world is challenging, how to motivate the students in online education. I know many are sleeping and their let's say cell phones are listening to us. Unfortunately, many of them are finding someone to do their homework. Unfortunately, there are some systems to control the students that they are doing their homework on their own, but unfortunately it is the big challenge. I mean, to control the students, to motivate the students for the online education. What I am doing personally, I am asking my university students to open all their cameras and to see me and to join me as you have here on Zoom. I put them in groups, breakout rooms, and then I visit their rooms and I try to see their, let's say, activities. But I believe your courses should be interactive. I sometimes call the names to see if they are really listening to me. At the beginning, I was just, trying to teach, and I was not trying to get answer from my students, and it was boring. I noticed that they were not joining, they were sleeping, or they were doing something else. Later, I decided to create an interactive context, asking the question and getting the answer and giving my opinion. Giving them a piece of listening and getting their answers. In this way, I could get them participate in my courses. But otherwise, if your courses is lecture type, that you are explaining everything, there is no chance to keep them, let's say, active in your courses. This is my only solution, to create interactive courses, course plans, so that more participation will be, achieved.
The key will be the engagement, Prof. How we can
Sure.
engage, how the lesson can engage the students' interest. That's great. All right,
Exactly.
perhaps we can still have one or two more questions, please. Come on.
By the way, is everybody teaching here?
No. From some are teachers, the others are students. The students of English education.
Nice.
Teacher
Great.
trainees. All right.
We have some.
Dinta Amelia is a student. So
Great. Future teachers.
Yeah.
They are future teachers, right?
Sure. Okay. We still have a problem actually in our country about the accessibility of the internet, because even now in the pandemic era, the economic situation is not very good. Students complain about the cost of paying the internet, let's say, charges, for example. So teachers are in difficult situation in some cases because we want to use technology, we want to use internet-based technology in that case, but then students complain about about the charge of the technology. Then it happens in our country right now.
Yeah, in my country, the government, let's say, offered free internet access to educational platforms, and that is how they solved the problem. And they had, they also, had the let's say mobile Wi-Fi's to some villages, to some far points. This is how they try to let's say solve the problem, and we call it the EBA project. There's the kind of information network. They offered free internet access, but just for educational programs, and the mobile Wi-Fi platforms to make it accessible for everybody.
All right, Bu Nur Eka, would you please comment? Or Bu Nani, Bu Mega, would you please? We still have around 10 minutes. The students, please. It's a very great moment to share the ideas with the exchange ideas with Prof. Yavuz.
Thank you.
Bhumika, you want to speak? No, all right. Okay.
By the way, your students can apply the exchange program to Turkey if they want. There's the chance, for visiting students, they can apply. We have a kind of program. I can give Jorel the details later. I can send him the details later. There's a chance for your students to apply for the exchange students to Turkey. In Europe, we have the Erasmus program. Out of Europe, we have a different program, which is called Mevlana program. Mevlana is a thinker, is a famous Muslim thinker in Turkey. His name is given to see to exchange for the exchange. Mevlana we have. You may have that chance. You may apply the program.
All right.
Okay, that's great. No more questions, please. Punani now, please.
Yeah, I just want to have. I want to ask something, a little thing actually, Prof. Our education minister said that not only education minister actually, I think everyone almost agree that technology cannot change the position of a teacher. But somehow the development of technology right now growing very fast. Even artificial intelligence right now, we can say it, maybe in the future they can change the position of human itself. But once again, I wonder, even this AI is lack of transferring kind of moral values. But somehow during this online learning also, we hardly apply to transfer moral values. We focus on the knowledge all the times. So my question is, how do you still maintain the transfer of the moral values in the limited time during the this kind of online interactions? Because moral values can, even though it can be given by online, but it's going to be more effective. It is done directly because, like Rasulullah said, it's through the examples. So my question: how do you maximize this transfer of moral knowledge or moral values? Means to the students during this online learning when we only have limited times to see them face to face. And we barely have a time to meet them directly. And so sometimes we only focus on the transfer of knowledge, but yeah, once again, because technology has two sides of the coins, we forgot that we also need to remind them over and over that, yeah, there is negative things, and the moral values must also need to, they still need to be reminded over and over again. Sometimes even though they are already scholar, maybe because we are from Eastern countries that tend to be more dependent rather than Western. So this scholar needs to be reminded again and again about this kind of morals. But some teachers hardly do that during this online classroom because they tend to focus more on the transfer of knowledge. So how do you still maintaining the transfer of moral values during this online teaching, Professor? Thank you.
Well, this is the question. The answer is in the air. And nobody really knows the answer, you know. But well, of course, there are, you know, a real, you know, potential problems with the, you know, online or computer-based or mobile applications, mobile-based learning, because you are not sure if your students are really, you know, I mean, doing what you want them to do. That's why I advise you to ask the parents, you know, to join the let's say online education. Ask them to help them with their homework or to supervise them when they are doing. But unfortunately, for moral values, you know, I don't know the exact answer, but if you ask me personally, I'm just trying to, in Turkey, we have the, let's say, limitations for internet, if we want. We may put some limitations if we are really, you know, I mean, into the problem. We can, you know, just limit it to some certain websites, you know, as families when you are subscribing the internet if you want, but it may be free or you may limit them. But for the, you know, in education policies, the governments should put these standards. It is not the personal thing. It is not just on my side or on your side, because more values for the society, not just for one person. How we are trying to create a society that's, or support a society that obey the moral values depends on your belief and culture. Perhaps in your country, you are more conservative. That is what I agree, totally agree. But unfortunately, in secular countries like mine, nobody cares the moral values, unfortunately. But the first sentence of yours, teachers, you know, are teachers. If you're not a good teacher, it doesn't matter if you are using the technology or the material or the right coursebook, whatever you're doing. Teachers are born and are trained, but mostly you must have the, you know, innate ability, and then you can be trained. Of course, we are training the teachers how to walk, how to talk, how to, you know, teach in the classroom, but you should have the, you know, aptitude. You need a little aptitude to become a good teacher. You have to devote yourself to the goodness of your students. If you do not, you know, go into the task of teaching, if you take it very professional, if you take it very, you know, mechanic, there is no taste. There is no, you know, soul in it. Okay, so teaching is, yes, devoting yourself to your job. Let me tell you something before I finish your answering you. When I have, you know, when I finish my course, I feel a kind of happiness that cannot be described. It comes to my, you know, let's say, mind. It makes me feel in peace because I'm with my students. Even when I have, some problems, after my course, believe me, I really forget everything because it makes me really happy to be able to, teach something, to contribute something, to help my students to do something. So teaching is in a way devoting yourself. With or without technology, you are the teacher.
All right, thank you, Prof. I think now it's been 28 after 2, so if there is no more questions or comment, actually I'm expecting 1 or 2 students to participate. The last chance, everyone, for the students. Arafi, you want to speak? Come on, say the last chance. I'm offering you the last chance to speak.
May I, sir?
Sure, Yakiato, you'll be the last person here. Come on, Yakiato, come on.
Yes, sir. As a teacher, sometimes we not realize that we only focus teaching ourselves and not teaching for students. And what should we do to be good teachers? We're not just teaching for ourselves. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That is wonderful question. So yeah, mostly the teachers are trying to satisfy themselves. They are just teaching to teach. Yeah, they don't care if the students are learning or not. This is the very, let's say, big problem. Very, let's say, critical question. How we should, let's say, get the reflection from the students. Yeah, again, the activities will be interactive, and from teacher-centered to student-centered education, we must, change the teaching to student-centered education. For instance, you can explain a grammar rule to your students, and it may be a teacher-directed teaching. But if you give your students a text with the article an, and if you ask them, could you please underline a and n on the text? And after you have finished, can you tell me the difference between a and n by looking at the underlined words? Then it will be more student-centered. They will be trying to answer your question. It doesn't matter if they give you the right answer or the wrong answer. It matters if they are contributing you. The interaction is on the student side. If you bring a problem into the classroom, today I have seen, for example, I have seen some animals, in the street. They were barking and chasing the people, and some people are behaving badly against them. Isn't this very, let's say, cruel? Isn't this very, bad? What do you think we should do to let's say, solve this problem? How should we keep the animals away from the people, or how should we care the animals? Do you see? I'm not directing, I'm not telling them what to do. I'm trying to get their ideas. When you put your students in the center, so learning is more fruitful because they, do you remember the methodology silent way? The approach silent way, have you ever studied it? Yeah, on silent way, yeah, Gutegno is trying to put the students to solve the problem on their own instead of giving the solution. That is the way. And in counseling learning, for instance, again, the students are deciding, the students decide what to talk about. So in this way, they are trying, to put the students into center. The traditional teaching, like grammar translation, like audiolingualism, like situational language teaching or oral approach, the teacher is at the center and he's the authority, the behaviorist teacher. From the behaviorist teacher to humanistic teacher, we should move the education system. But keep in mind that, all student-centered education has also disadvantages, because students may not know what they really should know. They may not decide what the syllabus should be including. So there should be the balance. In the perhaps engaged part, the teacher is directing the learners. In the practice part, the students are to 50%, joining the course. And at the activation part, the students are all trying to complete the activities. So as a teacher, you should plan in which part of your course it will be teacher-centered, in which part it will be teacher-controlled, and in which part it will be student-centered or student-produced part of your course. If you can succeed this, the let's say desired result, the teacher will not be teaching for himself, and the students and the teacher will be learning as a community. Hope my answer is satisfying for you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. I think now it's been 34 after 2, so I think we need to conclude this presentation. Thank you very much for the participants, all the audience who have raised questions and comments. Before we close, I'd like to not summarize, but let's say that I'd like to remind you that Prof. Yavuz just mentioned that actually when we teach, we is like a chef, perhaps. Okay? We cook and serve the meals to our students. What are the ingredients that we need to decide? Okay? But then in the aspect of technology, there are many platforms that actually we can use. But again, we need to remember that without a clear purpose of a teacher, then I think we need to think carefully of the use of the technologies, and then the learning objectives that we have stated in our syllabus, for example, will be achieved. Okay, so what kind of procedures we need to do? Okay, so then we can achieve. The point will be, again, it's not to satisfy ourselves as teachers by using the technology, but then how we help students grow and develop. That's the point. Okay,
For the last word, Hartono, for the last word, we forgot to talk about assessment.
Oh, yeah.
How we should assess. Okay, perhaps if we are given another chance, we can talk about the assessment, how to test and assess our students.
Sure. Okay.
For a possible next conference, if possible. Okay, thank you.
That's great, Prof. Okay, this assessment. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the very wonderful presentation, Prof. And everyone, would you please give applause for Prof. Yavuz, okay, for this very much contribution. Excuse me? Excuse me?
May I share the certificate of appreciation for Professor Yavuz?
Sure.
In this slide. Okay,
right.
Let me share. Thank you so much, Mr. Yavuz, for your a very insightful presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
You're very kind. Thank you. I'm really happy to be with you.
Okay,
please,
thank you for the time.
All right, Rebecca, thank you for, okay. Again, please give the big applause for Mr. Yavuz, please. Right.
No, to everybody here, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And now I return the time to my brother, Pak Khairil. Thank you, Prof.
All right, thank you, my father. Hartono, for guiding the fruitful seminar or kind of conference with Assistant Professor Fatih Yavuz, Ph.D. With the topic about the integration of technology into ELT. I really enjoyed the presentation, how he used the metaphor of I'm becoming hungry now. yeah. When I eat, I will remember the metaphor of teaching. How to
Thank you.
make a good lesson plan. Yeah. All right. Again, thank you. We give really good appreciation to Prof. Fatih Yavuz for giving the really good presentation. And of course, we need to have more collaboration. If you said that maybe about assessment or something else, we can talk later on. All right. Again, thank you.
Viral access, have you documented all the participants? Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Take a picture and please open your cams.
Okay, everyone, please.
Five galleries, 5 slides. So we start from the first. Please open your cams. Let me take the picture. Pak Mubarak, would you like to open the cam? Kindly, please. Oh, no, right. Okay, let me count for the first gallery, the first slide. Okay, let me count it. Pak. 3, 2, and 1.
You did print screen, right?
What is it?
You
What?
did it? I mean,
this is
me.
the first because there are 4.
Yeah. I mean not me doing it, but you, right?
Oh, okay. It's better if I count it until 3, count down as usual. So it feels so real. Okay. We're going to have the second. Second slide. Fardatun, Triayu, would you like to open the cam?
Siva.
Okay, now the third. Three, 2, 1. The last panel. Oh, okay, the third first. There's someone who just opened the cam. Okay. The last panel. Let me count down. The fourth panel. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Okay, that's all, Pak Hairil.
All right, thank you, Bu Nani, for becoming a great photographer, a virtual photographer. All right. Again, thank you for the speaker, Fatih Yavuz, the moderator, all the lecturers and staff, all the students, all participants, and also Pak Ibnu from SMA 2 Semarang. Thank you for joining the program. And we come to the end of the virtual seminar. Now let's close this program by reciting Hamdalah. Alhamdulillah.
Alamin.
And me, I apologize to you all if I made mistake. And akhir kalam, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone, sir.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Fatih. Thank you, Professor. Don't forget to click the link for the participants to get the certificate.
Thank you. A wonderful, classroom, here. I hope to meet you in person, perhaps. Yeah, really, I really like that. Thank you for inviting me.
I really want to visit Turkey. Sofia, the Sofia place.
Hagia Sophia has been returned to mosque. You have heard.
Yeah.
Many years later, Alhamdulillah, now it is the mosque. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
I have read the biography of Muhammad Fatih, and yeah, really want to go there someday.
Why not? We are expecting everyone.
Yeah, Fatih is my son's name as well.
The second son.
My second son, yeah.
Okay.
All right. See you, everyone. Thank you.
Everyone, I'm leaving. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, are you ending or we are leaving?